Welcome to the Hype Attack Podcast,
where we weigh in on the latest in nerd and pop culture hype.
We are the
We're the excited conversation we all have with our friends
about the nerdy things we love
and geek about. We are
Hype Attack. I am the hype!
Hey, what's up, guys? What is going on? Welcome back to the Hype Attack. It's your boy Jermaine on the mic, the ones and twos, freaking baby girl.
I love it. What? You give him one shot of Jose Cuervo.
Today is going to be a exciting episode. We're going to be talking about the one and only big nerd event, Comic-Con. Yeah, you heard that? Yeah, you heard that.
Some production elements.
Specifically San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah, San Diego Comic-Con. Shout out to Ellie. But yes, the nerd mecca, the nerd mania, the nerd society, you know, the holy grail.
Jay.
But
Give me more. Open up with the source.
oh man. But yes, we're going to be diving into Comic-Con. We're going to be reminiscing, talking about our experience, but also, dropping some news about what they dropped this past weekend, that happened down there. But Comic-Con, I love that place so much. You don't even understand. It's like church for me, which I only go once a year. so I'm good with that.
You're a lapsed nerd.
But anyways, like always, with me here is Doug.
Hi.
Isaac.
What's up?
And Rudy.
Yo.
But before we do dive into Comic-Con, I love it. How did you guys nerd out this past weekend?
So before you guys started, the Hype Attack did take a week off, so we have a backlog of nerding.
True. Well, sadly, I didn't nerd out by going to Comic-Con this weekend, which was like the first time in, I don't even know, more than a decade, of not going. Because the lottery system decided to...
Do we have to...
Oh, fuck, that's this year.
We don't have to revoke your platinum nerd card?
No.
Right. But he's bummed. And I understand, but he's like, it's my first time in a decade. There's people out there listening like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
They have never gone and probably will never go because, it's just the luck of the draw.
Right?
Yeah. But, I mean, recently I went to Disneyland. It's been a little while. I used to have a pass, but once I hurt my hip, arthritis and getting old, I haven't been going, but I went with my friend and it was fun. I was like going into Star Wars Land will always just be like exciting, and seeing the Millennium Falcon and everything, or Galaxy's Edge, not Star Wars.
When's the last time you've been?
More than a year ago.
Did we go together?
We went once together.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was close to one of my last times because I was in pain that entire day.
I still haven't gone on, not Smuggler's Run,
The Rise of the Resistance.
That one. I hear great, fantastic. I was so mad. You should ask my wife. I was fucking pissed. Not making this about me, but I was so angry that, like, she goes, oh yeah, it's like, the digital thing, and then the time turns over and she hits the button. She goes, no, we missed it. I go, what happened? What?
In the early days?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My favorite part of that
Take it.
was walking around the park, and when the second, because the first one was like 7 a.m. you have to be in the area, but I think it was like noon or something that they would release like the next set of times, and you would just watch the entire park stop moving.
Yeah.
And then people would be at their phones, and then within seconds it was either yes or oh son of a bitch.
That was that second one. I mean, I got Spider-Man.
The first time we went, it was like the week it opened, and it was me, Rachel, and our friend April, and we got there before rope drop, which is, you're just hanging out on Main Street. Everyone rushed to the castle and then just sat for half an hour. Everyone with their phones up, like trying to get the best reception. Like, I remember going online and be like, oh, no, if you go over here and connect to this Wi-Fi, you'll have a better chance. And then right at what was it, 9 o'clock, when it ticked over, you just hear mad cheers from one section and from this section.
My God, that kid threw himself in front of the tram.
My first time getting on Rise of the Resistance, I'll try to make this quick. The ride dropped, came out. You had to be there at 7. I had work, and my brother, who also had a pass, and we both, we live like less or like a mile and a quarter from Disneyland. So we decided, well, let's run over there, get our names on the thing, and then I can go to work. We both had to go to work. So I was in my like full work jeans, my work boots, and we sprinted the mile and a quarter to the park. Got there. We hopped on the monorail because we can hit the monorail first. And as long as you're in the monorail, it counts as
it's geo.
Yeah. And so the monorail counted as being in the park. The rest of downtown Disney didn't. So we got on the monorail and we got our names on it. We got a time and then like pretty much got off the monorail, sprinted back home, drove to work, and I had to do some training to like work near train tracks. And so the whole time I'm like in this class, just like eyeing it, and like I get the notification that it's like almost my time. And this other guy I work with, like he's a big Disney fan too, so I show it to him. He's like, "Oh man, you got to get out here." I'm like at the end of the class, and anybody have any questions? I was just like eyeing everyone. Don't ask anything. Don't ask anything. And then I pretty much like sprinted. And like just left. Like luckily it was a short day. We didn't have to do any work after that class.
Just use Rudy's excuse. I have explosive diarrhea.
It's not an excuse when it's actually happening.
Right now.
Use that explosive diarrhea to launch yourself to Disney.
The weirdest superpower, you shut on the floor and just slide.
Oh God,
this got disgusting.
Oh, is that your?
This got just gross,
that took
guys.
7 minutes.
You know what? It's really gross.
I don't want that VOT power at all.
No. But Indiana Jones, they added some stuff to it. I don't know when's the last time you've been on Indiana Jones, but that one section that was always just really dark, and I always thought something was broken. Then I realized, like, oh, they're just trying to do a dark, scary thing. They added some like lightning element thing to it, like this electric.
Did they
golem.
age Indiana up? It was an animatronic of him, like, his hand on his hip hobbling over.
Jesus.
Am I the only one that when you get in line for that ride, you're trying to jockey for that front seat so that you can sit in the driver's seat and pretend you're driving? And then actually pretend you're driving when you're on the ride, like, yeah.
I've got you. You ever done that? You're like, I got you. Oh no!
I think Jesus Christ. One of the last times I was there, some like older person, like older grandma kind of person, like kindly asked me, like, can you let my grandkid drive? And I was like, you're like, fuck. It's like, yeah, right off.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that was a button this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyway,
You're
other than
doing it,
Disneyland, watched like Star Trek and stuff, but we'll get into that because it was actually part of the Comic-Con announcement. So,
Star Trek again.
oh, absolutely.
Just don't look me dead in the eyes when you're doing
It's
it.
a fucking thing, man.
I told you.
So like we took the week off. We were all doing our summer things. We have a tradition of renting a house somewhere. I should say somewhere in the desert, so that we can burn our asses off in a pool. So we did that, and when I got back from that, instead of having a nice week to recover and do things, I got sick. I still don't know what it was, some kind of stomach bug. But
You went against that 3-second rule, man. You waited in the 4 second. You ate that chip at the 4-second mark.
It sidelined the hell out of me. Like it was miserable. So I had a vacation and then I had a bed vacation. I guess. It was like I didn't get out of bed for 3 days. Like I crawled to the bathroom and then I crawled back into bed.
Should we give a disclaimer about the gurgles and burbles that they'll hear? When we turned the mics on and did a little like sound test a second ago, I heard that. I think Doug was talking, and then I heard your stomach gurgle in anticipation for him talking about Star Trek.
Like I'm gonna get a little shotgun mic just to aim it at my stomach.
Oh yeah.
Just so it can have its own little guest spot.
I got one right here. We'll point it at your stomach.
Shit, that shit sounds like Jabba the Hutt.
But I had like a
dogma boogie.
I had like a really good start to the vacation and then a really shitty end to the vacation.
Literally.
Pun intended. But Isaac?
A lot happened in the time that we had off. The last time we recorded, it was right before my wife's birthday. I'm going to run down all of this real quick. So as far as the things that I did, we went to the Huntington Gardens for my wife's birthday. If you've never gone, go to the Huntington Gardens in San Marino. It's beautiful. It's only like $35 to get in. It's so much. I want to say like, it's fun and like it's just a beautiful like 3-acre span of land. They have a museum and stuff like that. It was hot when we went there. And then I want to wholeheartedly thank everybody, including everyone here that donated and shared the link for my friend Noel. Yeah, if you guys don't know, just go on my page or the Hype Attack page. I have a little thing talking about what happened, and thank you guys for donating and sharing. GoFundMe. Search Noel. And then as far as like all the content that I consume, I'm gonna start a little easy, right? Streaming. Okay. Futurama's back. And we saw the first episode last night, and it's Futurama, and it is back, and it's meta, and it's all Futurama fun.
Real quick, I've only watched like maybe 2 or 3 episodes of that collectively, just like the meme episodes that you see. Like like I've never like sat and watched the whole series.
You love it. Yeah, you would love it. Like you know how like Rick and Morty has what like 3-4 seasons out and stuff like that, something like that, right? Futurama has like all of it, and it's you know as meta and so cleverly written. You would love every bit of it.
It took a while because that came out, I think, back. I mean, God, I might have been in high school when it originally came out, and my friends and I were huge Simpsons fans, so it was like, oh, new show. And I just remember like the first couple being like, okay, it's not The Simpsons, but you know,
as it went on, you're like, oh, it's not The Simpsons.
Well, similar to The Simpsons, though, also it's just like as you get to know these characters, everything just becomes that much more funny because you pick up on their little traits.
Good. It's so good.
Gotta give it a couple episodes.
Oh, yeah. You would love it. It'll be one of those shows that you then go back and start to rewatch, like comfort watch. And then 2 other things on streaming. I love Charlie Day, and I knew that he was in a movie. He wrote and directed a movie called Fool's Paradise. You have to rent it, so we did. And it's a fun little quaint movie. It's it's like a commentary on Hollywood, but not like Quentin Tarantino's love letter. It's like a commentary on kind of how shitty Hollywood is. Anyways, go ahead and check that one out. I would say you could like watch with friends and like talk over it and stuff. It's sort of like a contemporary vaudeville. I'll leave it at that. And then on Netflix, I saw the Jamie Foxx and John Boyega movie. They cloned Tyrone.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty fun. Did you watch that?
I have been kind of following Jamie Foxx and all his whatever
his health
in
stuff?
real life. Yeah,
Yeah.
And I knew that was on the cusp, but like I haven't been following it too, but I want to see it.
John Boyega definitely plays like the straight man in that, and to Jamie Foxx's, I love when Jamie Foxx gets to like flex his comedy chops. And he kills it. It's like a sci-fi. It almost feels like Attack the Block meets like a blaxploitation film. And it just hits it. Definitely check that one out. It's on Netflix. And as far as movies, holy shit, so many fucking good movies. So many fucking good movies had came out, man. And I want to like go so hard on all of these movies, but I'm gonna nutshell it as best I can. Okay, so reel me back in if I'm going too deep.
If you go long,
just don't whip your dick out.
Zip.
It's time
Wait, can Isaac go deep? Should we ask him or no?
You hear my wife? No, he can't.
Great impression.
Speaking of which, day of my birthdays, but day of my wife's birthday, we saw Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. All I will say is that Tom Cruise knows how to make a movie. So when you get the chance, not if you get the chance, when you get the chance, go see it in IMAX and Dolby. You didn't mishear me. I didn't say go see it in IMAX or Dolby. I'm saying go see it in IMAX and Dolby. See it twice.
In this economy?
Get your AMC,
I have
Stubbs thing. And
How many miles does he run in this movie?
I do laugh every time he does the whole run, but I'm like, you fucking get him at 60 years old. And of course, I took the Barbenheimer pill.
Nice.
Same check. Yeah, we saw Oppenheimer on this a couple of days ago. So we saw Oppenheimer. See that one for sure at IMAX. It's how it's supposed to be seen. It's a 3-hour movie. It doesn't feel like a 3-hour movie. It's quick paced.
Did you go to the real IMAX, the one at the Irvine Spectrum?
No.
So apparently that was filmed on like 70 millimeter IMAX.
Right.
And there's only 19 screens in the country.
Damn.
That have it.
Okay.
But it's $25 a ticket, and you and I both had the AMC thing, so AMC IMAX.
Oh, so that's why he's
close
still
enough.
here and still alive if he saw. Because if you would have saw it in the real IMAX, you wouldn't be here right now.
So see Oppenheimer again. It's fast paced enough, and it doesn't really slow down for like the dumb viewers, as a lot of Nolan's films don't. It's just like figure it out or don't. Yeah. It's beautifully shot. It's great sound design, musical score. It's a fucking Christopher Nolan film. It's at the top of the list of the movies to see. And then rounding it all off, we saw Barbie. Again, I'm gonna keep it simple. Yeah,
Rounding it off.
I'm gonna keep it simple. It is as tongue-in-cheek goofy as you expect it to be, but it's surprisingly deep. Things I've never heard of.
Bone deep.
From my partners. It's surprisingly deep, and there's like a commentary on women and men in society, and it kind of gave me a little bit of whiplash, like when it went from like goofy to serious and back to goofy and stuff. But I will say, go check that one out when you get the chance.
I heard there's a scene that Quentin Tarantino would like in that movie.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of scenes that he would like in that movie. There's a couple of scenes I like in that movie.
Barbie feet.
But that's everything that happened. And I mean, there's so much more that happened, but we're gonna keep that short because it's just too much, too little time. Jermaine, you went to Comic-Con.
Ka-chow.
Comic-Con. Give me that chon-chon.
Ew.
Oh, but yes, I actually went to Comic-Con. I actually got a surprise ticket because I didn't even get my ticket in our thing. Like a friend of a friend hooked it up. So I actually got lucky this year, but I actually went down there on Saturday, did all my walking around as usual, had to stop off at the Dragon Ball Z booth, had to do all that goodness in the beginning. But it was like not the best Comic-Con, but the best weather for Comic-Con because it was overcast. Perfect. But every time I go down to Comic-Con, I have to walk into the doors and just stand there and like
Just take that
Full erection.
So it's you that gets in my way as I'm trying to walk. You're the guy that I have to like, oh, hey, excuse me.
Exactly. I have to take in that ass and hot chip smell like right in the beginning just so that I get used to it.
I didn't. No one prepared me for that when the first time I went back in 2016.
Man, it was the thing. It was the thing. Because, yeah, like you're walking around in there, you're like, some people in here.
like sour cream and nutsack.
So, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, go ahead.
But,
Go ahead.
Like, I've gone to a few like gaming conventions, specifically like some Warhammer, US Open kind of stuff and all that. And yeah, there's definitely like messages about cleanliness and like buying tickets and all that kind of stuff.
Weren't you the one to tell me that was almost like a tactic for some people?
In fighting tournaments like Street Fighter and stuff and Smash Brothers and apparently Magic the Gathering, apparently people have started the incredibly disgusting tactic of mental warfare when you just don't shower for a couple weeks and sit down in
That's
front
more
of
like
someone
chemical
or
warfare.
next to someone. Yeah, exactly.
There's an animator by the handle Meat Canyon. He's on YouTube, TikTok.
It's disgusting.
And you know the one I'm talking about?
No.
Just the name.
Just the name alone.
in Instagram, and he'll do like these parodies, and it gets extremely dark
Oh, I have seen that one.
and extremely gross.
the weird maggot.
Yeah,
like,
that's the one. Yeah, it kind of covered that gaming thing. Search him on your own time.
And shower people.
So, Jermaine, how long have you been going to Comic-Cons?
Since I was a wee lad. No, I've been going to Comic-Con since I was, it was like the summer after I graduated high school. So 2000, because I went to a ROP animation class that summer, and I've always heard about Comic-Con. I've heard whispers, from the little nerdlings, that you run into, and you'll see like ads and things about it, like legit paper ads, not, this is back in the day when, they didn't show that type of stuff. Like it wasn't on YouTube or anything. But yeah, man, but since
What the fuck is the internet?
2000, yeah, right?
I need to get that as a sound drop. What the fuck is the internet?
But I've been lucky enough to have been going to Comic-Con since 2000, and there was a couple years where I didn't get tickets, but I'm not ratting myself out because I Assassin's Creed my way in there.
We'll tell the story in a little bit, but fucking,
he jumped off a first-story building, broke his leg.
Heck yeah! And I'm going to sue unless I get in here.
The audacity, and that it actually fucking worked
Twice.
Yeah. I think we can't be a podcast with such older nerds as we are without talking about how the fact that you used to be able to like buy a ticket to Comic-Con like day of.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's part of the stories.
Mm-hmm. Hey, speak for yourself.
Stories.
As far as the older part of that, my knee hurts.
Doug, how long have you been going to the cons?
You know, I really wish I could look that up somewhere. I know it's been
predated the internet.
Well,
he's like, they gave coupons.
I want to say I got into comics. I mean, I was into comics as a kid, and then I got into comics in college because I took like a screenwriting class, and I realized my dialogue just sucked. So I'm like, well, I'm going to read comics because it's like all dialogue, and I can, and I, was interested in writing nerdy shit. So that would have been like 2001, 2002, and I'm sure within that first couple of years, someone would have said like, let's go to Comic-Con. So probably. Since like 2005-ish or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
And it's not like, as far as all I know is like from today is it's not too expensive to go. But how much was it back then?
Oh, no.
Okay, when I was going, it was $25 at the window and $20 if you ordered it online.
Oh, so the internet did exist then. Mm-hmm. I'm laughing because the way you did that. Back then,
they didn't have
how they did it. Yeah.
But no. But it wasn't. I don't remember if it was right when I started going, but I do remember always leaving Comic-Con, and they always said you can buy your ticket now
for next year.
For next year,
God
and
damn.
it was always cheaper. I know.
And tell the audience now how it is.
$1 million,
if you're lucky.
right?
If you're lucky enough to pay.
See, now you have to create a profile, and then you're pretty much in this lottery line, like a digital line.
Virtual queue.
Yeah, like a virtual queue.
You're British about it.
And you're just in there waiting, and you're just looking at this like death circle just...
With all your devices open, right?
Of death.
Gonna let you know if you're gonna be happy for like the next... couple days or not, but you're literally waiting in a virtual line to see if you can get tickets to go into Comic-Con. So that's how hard it is now, because there's actually one guy that I met at the gym that I go to. He's in a pool of 100 people who all go in and log in and try to get tickets for everybody. So there's people that have like their groups, because if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, you can buy tickets for 2 other people, including yourself. So it's just one of those things. Like now there's groups of people now that are trying to buy tickets for everybody. So that's how tickets like fly. Like if you're just buying a ticket for yourself, I don't think it would be that hard, but I could be wrong.
As far as you guys know, and of course I could look it up on the internet, when did that whole lottery thing start?
So
2000.
Speak right into the mic. Tell people.
2000. I think it was 10. I'm pretty sure it was 10 when they went to the lottery, because the first couple of years where it was sell out online first, it was still first come first serve. Like they dropped the tickets and you had fucking mad dash to buy them, and then we started crashing systems, and then they went to the virtual queue. But I remember it was 2007 was the very first fucking time
we drove down there.
You could not drive up and buy a ticket, because we fucking drove down there.
Oh, wow.
Without looking any information up, because we were like, oh, we should go and get our tickets there. Drove up, huge sign in front of the fucking convention center. No on-site ticket sales. It was like you had to buy them online.
Tickets were sold out at the window before we even got down there.
And then the other sign was like, we're sold out anyway, so fuck you.
What do you think caused that?
Hollywood.
Yeah, no,
Hollywood.
I was
Hollywood.
figuring, yeah.
Absolutely
Hollywood swing in.
Absolutely Hollywood.
Hollywood did this to us.
Because okay, I want to go far back. Or did anyone else answer like when they first went?
Well, Twilight movie came out in 2008.
Oh, was the fucking Twilight? I remember that.
Shut
shit.
up.
I think because I just looked at because I was trying to remember when Harry Potter because I know Harry Potter caused a lot.
That's just me hitting the table.
That's anger.
I remember
That's
that shit.
anger.
Yeah,
I know.
I remember
Got a
looking
little erect.
looking around and like, where are all these fucking weirdos?
Yeah,
Dressed up as sparkly ass whatevers, and then they're fucking vampires.
Where's Blade when I need him?
yeah. Because I remember Harry Potter movies definitely brought a lot more people to Comic-Con. But I do remember, when Twilight, and that was a weird one because a lot of people just had no interest in Twilight. But the studios brought it there, which brought all the fans of that
Brought
book
everybody.
series.
So therefore, when me and Rudy drove all the way down to San Diego from Orange County, not saying that's like a drive or anything, but
in that traffic,
I mean, still a couple hours.
no, but
Still want the power of teleportation.
no. I'm just talking for those that commute from elsewhere. You
yeah,
drive
motherfuckers
from
come
Orange
from
County to San
Australia, too.
Diego.
Fuck all of them. It still sucks balls.
I still find joy in anything. Just going to say, I'm like, I'm on my way to Comic Con. I don't care.
Fuck your happiness.
I don't care. But I do.
Reject your happiness.
one year I saw the Ninja Turtle pizza van driving down to San Diego because I think Pizza Hut was doing some sort of thing. So that's kind of while I'm sitting there in traffic, like get the fuck out of my way. It's like the pizza wagon. Hey, that's neat.
We had to panhandle that year to get tickets. Like I was like, we are getting in. I'm not going back home without getting in. And it was probably like 11 or 12 o'clock. I was like, it's still early. I don't know if we're gonna get in yet, but
Yeah.
should I bought my ticket off of somebody? Like I was across the street. I was like literally outside. Is anybody leaving Comic-Con and willing to sell their badge? And I maybe asked like 5 people and got lucky. And I fucking looked over and Rudy was like, please.
Hey, can do that shit.
Yeah, because I'm this, this fat Mexican that looks like he's about to rob you. We're like,
Could
yo,
have just said Mexican.
yo, are you still using that badge?
I just want everyone to recognize that was Isaac that said that.
He's
I'm
allowed.
Mexican, I can
He's
say
fine. It's fine.
Don't care if I'm a pocho, okay?
No, but we got in there
Still
pretty early.
Isaac,
We got
quick
in there.
accents, not me.
Quick fucking disclaimer. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to sell your badge to anyone else. But
Narc.
we
Oh,
were
no, but this is back in
fucking
the day,
getting
though.
in, and I don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, back then I probably would have, but nowadays I'd just be paranoid about like someone seeing it, and
Yeah.
I did
I
give my badge to somebody in maybe it was like 2018 actually. Just because I know how it feels to not get in, and I know we had like the chips and all that stuff, and yes, I know they say you quote unquote shouldn't, but I was just like, I can't.
You should.
Non-transferable.
No, but it was on a Sunday,
Fucking rule follower, Rudy.
and I was already leaving.
The rule say.
No, I fucking got it anyway. Like I wasn't trying to follow the rules. I'm just scared of being caught breaking them.
I would just like hate to be like, well, you can't buy tickets anymore.
Yeah.
Real quick side story. I went to E3 once, which used to be insiders only. Like you had to work there. I'm not going to name any names, but I have a friend that works in the industry. Gave me his badge, and I'm walking around with it. And then like people would be like, "Oh, hey, I'm so and so. What's your name?" And I'd be like, "Doug." It's like, and then I would just like rotate the name badge.
You're one of those. You're one of those. How
Liar.
It took me like halfway through the day to remember like to use a different name.
Nope.
I had to own that because when we bought the badges off them, this motherfucker took the one that said Clark on it, and I'm like, oh, what's mine say? Annie Chung. I still have that fucking badge. I still have that badge.
We need to post that.
It's hidden in my room somewhere, but I was
I
like,
am now calling you Annie Chung. I'm just changing in my context right now.
I was like,
That's
man,
fun.
you just have to walk in like you own the badge. Like you just can't. You just have to walk in straight face.
Yeah.
real quick, it was 2003, 3 or 4 was the first time I went down to Comic-Con. One of our work associates, when me and Jermaine worked at Disneyland, introduced me to it. And I was like, oh, what's that? Comic-Con? Sounds cool. Went down there and just peeled my wig back, just like just everything. I was like, this is what I've been missing in my life.
I walked in, honestly, like I said, my first time was that ROP summer. We did that field trip. So I had only $40 in my pocket. I did not know where I was going. Like I said, I heard of this place, El Dorado, this nerd mecca, this city of gold.
The mother lode.
Yeah, so I didn't know what to expect. I just heard Comic-Con. You're just thinking, comics. And man, when I walked in there and Comic-Con only, like, the building sensed that I only had $40 in my pocket, I immediately Mario died. Because I couldn't afford anything. But honestly though, that year was the year that I did find my favorite artist by the name of Michael Turner, R.I.P. He did pass away in 2008, I believe, June 27, 2008. But
yeah, look up Aspen Comics if you want to look up any of his stuff. And he did work for DC and
yeah, he did. Well, he started Aspen Comics is his creation after he left, but he was drawing for, at the time, was Top Cow Comics.
Oh yeah, Top Cow too. Yeah.
We had Top Cow. You had Image Comics. Like, you had that little niche of comic books. Like, that's when I kind of started to stray away from DC and Marvel, and started venturing off like into like The Walking Dead and all those other fun comics that were coming out. But I did have enough money to buy two comics, and it was just something about his artwork that just grabbed me. Like, I didn't know nothing about him, and it was like a Tomb Raider, Witchblade comics, and ever since then, like, I've been reading everything that he came out with, or still to this day, anything that's continuing, in his legacy. But that $40 made me find my favorite comic book artist that year. So I will say that was
That's awesome.
What was his name again?
Michael Turner.
He had a very, very distinctive art style.
Yeah, it's that is kind of fun just walking around. I mean, I guess we should probably like paint a picture of what Comic-Con is like for the listeners that maybe have never been or have never. I mean, nowadays you can look up YouTube or whatever, but
Doug, paint me a word picture.
where I'll just say it was good a lot. But so when you get there, the floor is like usually where I go first. I know some people like you get that early morning panel that you kind of have to rush to, but for the most part, you go to the floor first, and the floor is just row and row and row and row, or columns, I guess how you want to look at it, of
I'm column person.
Column, aisles, whatever you want to call them.
or aisles. Yeah, I guess they're officially aisles, right?
Yeah.
They have numbers to them of just
asleep.
booths, and they have it kind of organized with like Artist Alley, which is where you'll see a lot of artists just selling their art, or they'll do commissions where you can like bring them something and be like, hey, draw me this, and then you pay them money. And then they have like independent comic book sections, and then of course they have all the big sections. Like DC has a big booth, and Marvel has a big booth, and Image, and all them kind of
Like all the sideshow stuff,
and
all the toys and all those things.
I like big booths. I cannot lie.
Yeah, big booths.
You need to make that a shirt for coming on.
And years
Write
ago,
that down right now.
years ago there was a lot of swag, and you'd walk around and just be like, oh yeah, free stuff, free comics, free this and that. And I think that's kind of died down, and in a way I'm glad it has, because that just caused so much chaos. Once it got more and more crowded, and someone would come out and be like, here's a free whatever keychain. I mean, sometimes it was it was nothing, and it would just be like a swarm. And there's very like, I love Comic-Con, but sometimes, I mean, like, there's a lot of people in costumes, big backpacks. Like the bags they give you are huge, and so it's like, and the spatial awareness, like, so any booth that causes a stir, like, man, it is chaos. But some of those stirs back in the day, again, when it was less people, were fun, because it would be like, oh, there's Mark Hamill, like, or Rosario Dawson, and I will always kick myself constantly in the face.
I'm going to ask you guys, like, who did you guys bump into and see? Well, we'll want to get to that one.
Well, like, Rosario Dawson had come out with a comic book, I forgot what it was called, a while ago, and like, she was just there setting up a booth, and like, no one was there, no one was talking to her, and I was just like, oh, that's Rosario Dawson, like, I want to go say hi, and I just couldn't, I just didn't. And then eventually a line formed or whatever. I was like, God damn it.
When I first went back my first time was in 2016, and I was 26 years old. I was 26 years old. Because you guys are talking about it, you're like, 2010, and I was like, wait, what's the math on that? So in 2016, I was 26 years old. That was my first time going, and yeah, you're right. Like the internet was already out for a couple of years by that time, and so I had seen videos and was exposed to it via what was it? The tech channel, the cable show?
G4?
Bingo. And so I used to watch a lot of that, and they would cover Comic-Con and E3 and everything else. And so I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun. And I went with you guys.
I got
Wow, I got emotional. Hey, it's okay. It's just us.
No, I got speaking of G4, I got a picture of Olivia Munn at Comic-Con once.
Oh man,
but she was looking at the wrong camera because there's like 12 people there like trying to get pictures
I have
or
the
whatever.
back of Stanley's head.
Oh, nice.
I'll put up a video. I mean, I know this episode is going to post like weeks after we record, but I'm going to put up a video.
Hopefully this week.
Time travel.
I'm going to...
Oh, this week. That's right.
Right.
Yes.
We'll put a rush on this one.
Yes. So I will put up tonight. I'll put up a video that I had made of like my first time going to Comic-Con, and it's all the things that I saw and stuff like that. So
that's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like pleasantly overwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not just the smell, but it's there's so much. You're right. Like I
That smell is gourmet. It's that gourmet shit.
I'm gonna ignore that. That's so
Ass and hot
gross.
chips.
So gross. You said sour cream and balls earlier, and I just cannot get that out of my mouth.
Sour cream and testicles.
I would say
Moist sour cream and just
I would say to like Jermaine's point,
Do you need to drink some water? No, go ahead.
despite it being overwhelming and what I was saying about being crowded and everything like that, I would say it's like, especially in our artist alley or the independent comic stuff, like slow down, take your time, like look at everything. Now, sometimes you don't want to slow down too much because those people are high pressure salesmen sometimes, and that gets a little annoying. But you might find that artist that has a style that really calls out to you.
I think even because we had known each other since I want to say like back 2023, 24, something like that. So like around that time we were hanging out at parties and stuff. But point being is I think you were the one that had sort of like advised me to like take your time with it. I think we had got 2 days. It might have been like Friday and Saturday, and you guys are telling us about like there's also like the outdoor free stuff, but like take a day to like walk everything because of the comic book alley and all like the figurines and stuff like that. I by the way I already knew to set myself a budget, and then you guys are like budget what and like have handfuls of stuff.
The minute I leave Comic-Con is when I start saving up for the next year. Like, no lie, you think that's a joke. But I have like a certain like little, I used to use a jar, but now like I have like a little, separate like savings account for my other savings account. That's specifically for Comic-Con.
Yeah, make sure that Kat doesn't hear this episode.
What stops me
She don't
is
take my monies.
She already called me out on one of the other episodes.
what stops me.
Hi, Kat.
What stops me is I don't feel like carrying around a lot of stuff, and like usually I'm like parked pretty far because I used to park somewhere and then like take the trolley in or something like that. So it's not like I can go drop my bag off.
But I will say, if you guys do get a chance, and I hope everybody eventually gets a chance to go to Comic-Con, from experience, what we do when we go there, when you walk the floor, I will say start at one end.
We have a system.
Don't start in the middle. Even if you walk in the middle, that's fine. But go to an end and like do the serpentine pattern through all the aisles. Just weave back and forth and just make your way down. Like you can take breaks if you need to, but that's just our way of navigating through. Like we just start at one end and just go through, just so we can kind of catch a glimpse of everything to make sure we don't miss anything. And
if you don't do it that way, you're a psychopath.
right? Who are you? Why are you even here?
But that's exactly what I do with Target. Kat knows what's up.
But I will say, be patient, because there is a lot of people in there, and it is like a sardine can. So if you had a Comic-Con life bar, you will get hit. So your life will, diminish. It's like those video games where you get hit and you just go, and you just walk, and you just. So it will take life points, but just be patient, because there's people just walking around and just looking at things and they just bumping you. I've done it, so I can't say that I'm the like expert at things, because we all walking around like, oh what is this, and then you're like, oh shit, sorry I didn't see you there. But just be patient with it and just get through it and you'll be fine.
Or do what I've been doing the last few years and get drunk.
As far as Comic-Con or just in general?
In general, but Comic-Con.
Hey, motherfucker, watch where I'm going.
The other aspect of Comic-Con that I brought up was the panels, which, so there's Hall H, which is, I guess, a panel, but like at some extreme mega scale.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that.
That's huge, and we'll get into Hall H, but there's other panels which, are like, hey, this is DC Comics telling you what's going to happen in Green Lantern this year or something like that. Mm-hmm. And those used to be really fun to go to, but even those started getting super crowded. And then what would suck is, they're in these rooms and each room has its own schedule. So there might be like a Rick and Morty panel or something at 5, and your like obscure comic book panel might be before that, and you'd think you'd be able to just walk in because no one's there to see this obscure comic. But no, everyone that's there to go watch the Rick and Morty thing are already there in that room 1 panel, 2 panels before. That's something that's more recent, which that kind of sucks. So because I always liked one of the panels, it was always interesting to see like your favorite artist or your writers.
Well, it's that energy of like being in the same place as someone else that has similar interests as you. I mean, like that's the other thing too. Like one of the things that is part of like the happy overwhelmingness of going to Comic-Con is that that you are amongst folk like
your people.
Yeah, and then the panels. Excuse me. I've been really tired today. The panels are like even like a subsection of like people that really get your shit, and so are like the booths and whatever. But those panels, it's electric. We went to, I don't remember which one we went to. My mind's blanking out really hard, but we went to a panel or two, and I like that electricity in the air.
Oh yeah, that's the big thing. Like it's that energy, the vibe, like he said, it's just one of those things like where that there's people there that are into the same thing that you're into. You're waiting in line and you're hearing people talking about certain episodes, yada yada yada, or you even make friends with people like while you're waiting in line, because you're in line forever. Forever.
I know, I didn't want to say it because I was like, oh
no, they gotta know, like
lines.
There's lines for everything. Like if you want to take a picture of something, there's a line. Yeah. If you want to look at something, there's a line. If you want to see your artist, there's a line. There's a line for a line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just tell you that right now. There's a line for everything.
I started to go to more academic panels, and those usually have nobody in. Like
But party of one.
Yeah, but those can be interesting.
Like was it like the Star Trek theory?
No, I've been to like strong female characters, or I think I've gone through a few like of the feminist panels, and then I went to like a nerd like fitness panel that just kind of talked about like
oxymoronic.
Yeah. Just talk about working out and stuff, but like using nerd like science and stuff behind it and everything like that. So there's a lot of kind of cool things out there. I would say like, being on the floor all day is fun, but it can be tiring. So sometimes like finding a nice panel to go relax to, and so definitely look at the schedule. This last year
break.
At WonderCon, I ended up at like some animation shorts panel. That was like an hour and a half of just a bunch of like this guy's collection of these are some good animated shorts that come out, and all sorts of genres within it.
Yeah. And not to cut you off, but speaking of speaking of WonderCon, if you ever wanted to get into that like feel or vibe of like what it is to con, WonderCon is easier to get into. So if you have the chance, check out WonderCon.
Oh, you have to wait in the kiddie pool before you jump into the deep end.
With the big dog, with the shark.
I fucking jumped in, dude. Like I know of all these other conventions, but that was the one I was like, I'm one of those people who's like, if I don't give myself a budget, I'm gonna buy a bunch of shit at these things. And so I was like, all right, it's gonna be Comic-Con. That's gonna be my first one. Fucking jumping in feet first.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys have a holy grail that you guys bought from Comic-Con? I do have mine, so because I just want to know what you guys, if there's anything that you bought, you're like, this is my shit right here.
No, because again, I think
like even if it's artwork or like an item, like whatever it may be, or you got something for free, you're like, oh, that shit's pretty dope.
I don't think so. There were certainly some things that because so not only is there lines for lines and virtual queues and stuff now, even buying things sometimes you have to get in line early to get a ticket in order to come back at
all
a certain
the exclusive
time.
Stuff.
And it took me a while to even grasp that was a thing. And so there was certainly I think Hasbro would always have some cool toy, or even like exclusive Magic the Gathering cards that I remember one year wanting, and then like walking up to the booth like, I'll take one of those, please. And they're just like,
and they're like, sir, did you have a stroke? Are you okay? Did you need help?
Yeah.
They're like, you regular.
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you?
What's the acronym? It's FAST. It's facial. And you gotta act now. What is? Oh my God, the slurs.
Oh, the conversation they had at dinner that night about that guy. Can you believe he just walked up here?
That was the most derailed. I derailed you.
Yeah. Anyway, Jermaine, what's your or I guess do you guys have a holy grail?
I don't have it yet. But ever since I forget, it was one of the first ones that I went to where they had the custom lightsabers set up, where it's like a huge booth with just like all kinds of like different hilts and.
Did you cover when you first went?
Yeah,
I wasn't listening.
Okay,
He never does.
yeah, that's fine. Well,
I'm really tired today.
We'll play it back for you later. No, it's cool. But like ever since that, like I've always wanted one, and they've always been so absurdly priced. And now that I'm older and like I have a little bit more disposable income, I'm looking more seriously at them. But there's so many fucking varieties. There's so many companies. There's so many people doing shit now that not even the official licensed lightsabers do. And I have like 4 or 5 of those things. But
it does not compare, and I don't understand why. That shit always gets me. How are you? You know what? This is why I love people that say when these studios make certain things, they're like, I want that, but I want it better.
Yeah,
like they're like, that isn't what I want, but I like that you do that, but I'm gonna make it better, and I'm gonna make my own company.
The other night, me and my wife were just we were reciting the lines right before the Mustafar battle in Star Wars between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Oh, if you're not with me, then you're.
That's exactly it. So we're just screaming at the top of our lungs just because, and then she runs off, and I was like, "Guess she's done." And I was about to put my pants back on, and she came back with the lightsaber, and she's like trying to like hit me with it and stuff. She's like, "Oh, it's not clicking," and it's like would have been could have got a better one. I was this close to getting her one for her birthday, but I bought a bunch of other shit. But I don't know any specific companies, but like she was sending me some links and stuff like that, and I went in the whole rabbit hole. They're so fucking cool.
I have. I'm gonna deep throat this fucking mic. I'm so turned on right now. Oh shit! No, I have a link saved for
his desk is levitating.
I follow. Her name is Carly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're about to jerk right off, aren't you?
Oh, jerk right off.
There's a YouTuber.
Iron Man come out, he just.
Come on. I'm not gonna make it.
Oh my god!
Go without me.
You have to watch the first episode of the latest season, the reboot season of Futurama. He kind of is there a compound? I do love that.
Yeah. That's all you had to say. I'm in, baby. Let's go.
I think we've referenced Compod a few times on our podcast, and like, no explanation of what it is, and it's literally just based off some stupid YouTube joke that we saw right before we filmed our very first or recorded our first episode.
Did we not put that like a link in anywhere?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we'll do so.
Yeah. When this episode drops, let's put that up in the
Or
stories.
just Google Compod. I'm sure it's safe.
People are lazy. It's like a Tide Pod.
Anyway, let me get this out real quick.
Oh, yeah,
They need to
sorry.
sponsor us.
There's a YouTuber.
We could sell those.
Her name is Carly King, and she promotes lightsabers, and like she has like discounts with certain companies, but she has like her recommended entry level, cheap, but still does everything that all the high end sabers do. It's just the hilt is a little basic, but it's not expensive, and that shit is sitting in my cart. I'm gonna pull the trigger on that shit one day. I will send you the link. Do because you need to get that one for your way. That's a perfect starter lightsaber that does all the cool shit, but it's not gonna break your fucking wallet.
That's awesome. Surprisingly, she was like, "No, you don't have to," and this, that, and the other. I was like, "I also want one." Like the way that she was when she fucking bought me the Nintendo Switch for my birthday. I was like, "No, like I want to play with this thing too." Send me the link.
Yeah.
Oh, no, everybody has to have a lightsaber. Come on, bro.
You've done the whole lightsaber ceremony thing at Galaxy's Edge,
Do you
right?
in Star Wars?
Or even
Don't have a
those,
lightsaber?
Hobby's Workshop. Yeah.
or even those like not.
Still a telescoping one.
The one I have, as soon as I got it home, like because the pieces are interchangeable, so to put new batteries in it, you have to take the whole thing apart. But I took it apart, I put it back together. The pieces don't fucking line up like they did the first time, and the hilt for some reason where it connects to the blade doesn't fully hit the contacts.
Yeah.
So you swing it around, it just turns off.
That's what was happening. Yeah.
So I'm like, motherfucker, I spent $200 on this.
Yeah.
For this custom lightsaber that doesn't fucking work.
Because you're not one with the Force. And the Force is not
man.
And I'm like, and
Shit, you got called out.
the
son.
lightsaber
Yeah,
that I'm
seriously.
talking about that's sitting in my cart is like a whole like almost $50 cheaper, and it does more than that shit does, and I'm just like, okay,
I will say this.
okay.
When you got that lightsaber, I was like, and you brought it home, I didn't want to burst your bubble, but it didn't look like it was going to hold up.
It's
like,
it's definitely a display piece, but
and it's
Yeah.
and it's from Disneyland. I was like, oh, Disney got you.
I
Well,
like
it's not
Yeah.
just from Disneyland. It's the whole experience where you go in and
And
you get a
which is-
kyber crystal.
But
and,
it's not, no.
that experience.
People
is cool
outside
as fuck.
Disney do it
Yeah.
better. People outside Disney do it, but don't get it from me.
Because you put that thing together, and like they have like a whole thing where you set it on the table, and like this whole like cover goes and like seals it, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then like you hear click, 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 and then the thing goes and it opens back up, and there's a fucking blade attached to it, like out of nowhere. Like, how the fuck?
That's
and then,
cool.
and then all of a sudden it was like, touch the stud. I'm like, and like everyone count of three. Like fucking lightsabers all go off, and they're still in the table, and they're like, everyone raise that, and they're pulling Excalibur out of the fucking rock, and like you just throw it up in the air, and then fucking Yoda's voice comes in and says like, you're doing it, Peter, you're playing with us. And I'm like fucking adult man tears are flowing down my face,
Yeah,
and my
sounds
fucking
awesome.
my wife is silently judging me behind me because they let her in the room. I don't know why, but they let her in the room.
do you think
Yeah, it's
'cause
one of
she's
those rare times.
Palpatine.
One of those rare times when the judgment was silent. Love you, baby.
for some reason I got the vision, and we're side railing into Star Wars conversation, but you know the really little alien that they introduced in episode 9, and then he's come back in Mandalorian or whatever.
The Italian
No
aliens.
squeezy.
Yeah, no squeeze. When they close the thing, I bet it's Jedi lore that just 5 of those guys pop out real quick.
He's the guy who twist it.
Did they have any lightsabers at Comic-Con? Look at that, bringing it back around.
There we go.
But yeah, there's one. Yeah, bring it all the way back around. Fuck, holy shit!
But
What a journey.
I don't know how to edit this, dude.
There's there. I think it's Sabers Pro is the name of the company, but they have a fucking huge installation, and they had it at one. I think it was WonderCon last year. They were back, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna fucking get one of you.
I'm sure if you've gone through Instagram Comic-Con posts, you've seen at least 200 videos of people that walk by every blade as they're lit up recording it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it.
I have a video that I put together of like the Star Wars celebration. That was a whole lot of fun. I think it was last year's Star Wars celebration, which speaking of which, I got like really excited right now because I was like, does Comic-Con have what Star Wars celebration has, which is like a fucking tattoo section?
No, Comic-Con doesn't.
WonderCon does. Comic-Con doesn't.
So what the hell? That's so
Patches
random.
and Pins Expo had
Star
a
Wars
tattoo
celebration.
section.
No shit.
Yeah. Star Wars Celebration also had this bartender that poured like the strongest Jack and Coke I've ever had.
Hell yeah.
And like 3 of them. I wish I got his name. I'd shout him out right now.
I was gonna say, did you get his number?
He purposely like, because it's supposed to be like 1 shot of Jack and then Coke. He's like, sir, look. And he's pouring the 1 shot of Jack, and he just starts pouring.
Did he maintain eye contact the whole time?
Pretty much, yeah. And then I started talking about Star Trek and Star Wars.
So licking his lips.
When the nerd around, I don't know if that turned him on or off.
Fuck. But anyway, that would be my grail if I ever, went to Comic-Con.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Had
That was the question.
Had that.
Yeah, we're talking about
had that money reserved because like every time I go to Comic-Con, it's artwork. Like I need to get artwork from someone. Usually, my go-to artist is Patrick. I'm going to mangle his last name is Ballesteros. He makes like, and admittedly, like I wasn't completely on board with it because it's kind of cutie, little chibi characters. But he's grown on me over the years. My wife loves him. Like every time I go, I come back with a piece. I have one in the.
No,
Is
in
that,
the studio right
is that
now.
the artist that she bought us like some Doctor Who pieces?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah, yeah. We got those framed set up.
He
yeah.
does some fucking cool work, and like the last one I got was.
I love chibi stuff. You know what I love nerdwise too is mashups. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
all
that
the
artist.
mashup stuff. Mashup
the one I have
crossplay.
hanging up right now is Dave Filoni, and he's like sitting on a typewriter, and like all his Star Wars creations are kind of like popping out.
Oh, that's so cool. When did you put that up?
2 weeks ago.
Oh shit.
But yeah, so like I limit myself to artwork because like I walk in there and I'm like, fuck, I want
That makes
all
a lot of
this.
Yeah.
And I'd walk out fucking broke and probably in debt. So I'm just like, let me just get my artwork and
How much? And I'm looking at you. How much of the stuff in the garage is your guys's?
Oh, that was all my stuff.
that was all Jermaine. Jermaine
that's
wisely
good.
saves up for all that, so
Jesus.
I play it by ear, and like I always end up coming up with like a couple little tchotchkes. This fool comes out, fucking.
The first time that I went to 2016, when is that when you got the RoboCop gun?
Oh no, I got that later on.
Is that your holy grail?
Yes, that's my
Yeah.
holy grail.
Didn't even tell it, man. It's just-
I don't have like an item, Holy Grail item, but the thing that I was like coveting at the time, I was subscribed to Loot Crate. Do you guys remember Loot Crate?
Oh, I remember.
So much fun. But the thing is, like, if you guys don't know Loot Crate, I don't know if they still do it, but like you pay like a monthly subscription. I think it was like $20 or $30. I think maybe 30. And you would get this boxes, and it would have either like some apparel or little pins and patches and stickers and
socks and condoms.
a bunch of other cool stuff.
Air freshener.
It's Chewbacca flavored condom. Ugh.
A jar of Comic Con air and
Butt plugs and ball games.
That'd be my kind of.
Sour cream balls.
God.
Sour cream and testicle Tostitos.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to do this anymore.
What if they were like bugles that you like?
They're not bugles. They're
Too close, man.
they're nerd foreskins.
Oh God.
Loot Crate.
Jermaine, we're going to get to your RoboCop guns.
No.
I want to hear the
Loot Crate was a thing that I got, but it was like a Comic-Con exclusive Loot Crate, and then if you had to confirm you were subscribed to it, and you get that one box, and in it is this hoodie that I fucking love. It's starting to fall apart now, as all hoodies do, and it's per our last episode, it's an Aliens hoodie, little chibi xenomorph on the back, floating through space.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
she might be able to find it on eBay again or
the interwebs.
eBay.
she like another place.
RoboCop. Let's hear
the
this
old school
RoboCop
goodies.
gun story.
So,
Well,
Jermaine, what was
This
your
whole story.
What was your grill?
Oh no, from Comic Con, mine would probably have to be the RoboCop gun because at the time I was looking for the Thundercat sword for all of those years, but they never had it, and
No.
Doug.
No. Tell it right.
saw it in the mall.
They had the sword, but was not up to your.
You guys like an adorable couple.
standards.
Oh no, it was
Tell
like
the story right.
like
No.
the bootleg. Like it was a bootleg of a bootleg. Like that's what it looked like. But anyways, so I was going through Comic Con, doing my serpentine pattern, walking the aisles, and I'm walking, and this was the time they had like, I want to say they started selling like airsoft guns and things there and weapons and all kind of like nunchucks and swords and things and all those goodies. So I walked by this booth.
Fat chicks.
And I'm looking at, all the airsoft guns and not thinking anything of it. Like, they're cool, but I'm not going to buy anything. So I thought. And then I see the RoboCop gun behind the booth on the shelf behind the guy. And I was like, is that? Before I could even say, he said, yes. And I was like, how much is that? I don't remember the time. I don't know if it was like $250 or $350. I did not hesitate. I just pulled that money out of my wallet and deflated my wallet.
You're now the proud owner of the Penis Slayer 3000.
But I have the legit like airsoft RoboCop gun, and it sounds just like it. Like it shoots just like it. Like the movements on it, everything. That's like my little holy grail from Comic-Con. But that was one of my first, honestly, like my first big buys, and it was one of my rookie buys too, because now I haggle like it's like a marketplace or like a swap meet, because I didn't know for the longest time that you can haggle with people or talk to people to try to lower the prices. Like
he had some bruised knees by the end of that convention. Fuck.
Some of my go-to techniques when I haggle is like
cradle the balls,
hold it up,
eye contact,
palms. Yes, do not look away.
Yeah,
you got to make sure that they know that you want it.
Yeah,
you got to give them that.
Oh wait, where's the sexy music over that one? He'll do it in post.
But
I'll do it a cappella.
If you see something that you want, if you do see something that you want, like you could always say, somebody down there has it, for this price or yada yada yada. Or what I like to do is take out all my monies when I walk the booth and I see something that I want. Take out all my monies, put it in my pocket, and just put the money that I want to give them in my wallet.
That's good.
And I'll just be like. But I always do it on Sunday. The best time to haggle is the last day, because nobody wants to go home with all that product. So I go up and I'm like, pull out my wallet. This is all I have left.
That's clever.
And they're like, I'll take it.
How much off of that Cloud versus Sephiroth fucking diorama dual figure did you get? Because I remember like you waited till the last possible second where they kicked us out of the fucking convention center because you were still haggling with the guy. Like I remember, like he wanted like almost double what you paid, wasn't it?
He wanted damn near like $600 for the day, and I bought it for like
wasn't it
just under half?
Like wasn't it? Did he? Because it's two separate pieces, right?
Yes, it is. It is two separate pieces. So it's the Final Fantasy, battle that we've mentioned from the Advent Children movie. But so it's two separate figures. But he damn near wanted $300 each, and I haggled my way down to like damn near like $250 for both of them.
What's that made of? Ceramic or?
Yeah, it was ceramic, but it's like big boxes. But they're pretty like. Small size pieces. Mm-hmm. It's not like a legit grand like.
Yeah, I've seen like DBZ stuff and things like that. It's like multi pieces assembly.
But it's literally the fact that he didn't want to take them shits home, and then when I asked him, well, if I do buy these, can I check them first? And I do believe Cloud had like a little nick or crack in his.
Yeah, one of the arms kind of. Wonky.
And I was like, I could repair that, but I didn't tell him that. But
if it were Doug, it'd be a box of dildos.
Box of dildos. All the dildos.
For that price, I'm keeping it.
But I got it from him for like $250, not $600.
I was so impressed.
Haggle on Sunday, people. But that's my.
I just got the image of a Sephiroth like butt plug that's just the one wing.
Holy shit, I need it. I be fucking slapping around the room.
yeah, you gotta get that music.
I realize what's happening. Your body purged everything. You had one drink. You're like me on one White Claw.
I really haven't. Like I know I've dropped like at least
cheap
8
date.
pounds in the last fucking weekend. I've been eating crackers and fucking cheese.
It's a week of the life-altering shits that we've talked about. Next chapter, baby. Next chapter.
When it's a colonic and you just have food poisoning.
Oh no! Speaking of the
I've
next
done
chapter,
food
though,
and trauma. So
we do need to give him a little taste of Hall H, because I don't think a lot of people are ready for what Hall H is really.
But
like.
real quick, to your haggling point, I would also say, like, check prices everywhere. Because I know we saw it at WonderCon this year, where it was like, oh, Funko Pops, like, oh, there's the Ninja Turtles I've been looking for, like. They want $20 each, and you go two booths over, and it's like 4 for $10. Or I mean, it's the same ones.
You were the one that told me that too. Like, don't immediately buy anything.
Yeah.
Walk everything, and then remember what
Exactly.
It's like I don't have a good memory. Take my money.
that's my mantra is like, don't blow your wad. And the first thing you see.
Yeah.
Like I walk in and the first booth is like, holy shit, I want that. And then, no. Walk the whole thing. And then by the time you get to them, you're like, you know what? I didn't really want those. And they had that over here for cheaper. So let me fucking get that.
Yeah, but yeah, Hall H.
Let's get into Hall
The
H.
legendary Hall H.
All right, let me ask you guys then. How many times have you guys gone to Hall H, either together or separately?
I want to say 3 at least. Has it been 3?
Yeah, we've been there 3 times, and Doug just met us there.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I've certainly been
I felt that look through the.
to some Hall H experiences. Like Kevin Smith usually goes like pretty late at night. And by then, you don't really have to wait in line, or at least you used to not have to.
Yeah.
His is at night, and he's going to talk for 4 hours.
He's usually the last one.
Yeah, he's the last
Saturday.
one. And then I mean, I want to say way back in the day, I might have gone into like a few. But as far as like the full experience of like spending the night there, yeah, I hadn't planned on it, and then these guys were doing it, and they messaged me like, hey, you come join us. I was like, all right, and they'd already been out like there all day, taking turns going into the con.
Oh, yeah, we
Keeping-
take our shifts.
Keeping each other warm.
Go get food. Go walk around, stretch your legs, do what you got to do.
So I did end up joining them, but I was not prepared to spend the night out there. And you're right on the water, the Pacific Ocean water. It is very cold. And like at one
I
point,
do remember you found a piece of cardboard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did you really?
Well, at one point it was like, 1:30 in the morning. And I was just like, oh, there's bars. Bars sell hoodies. And I was sprinting into downtown trying to get to a bar before they closed. And I couldn't find one. I was just going to buy whatever hoodie for whatever like dive bar or something that was still open.
So what you're saying is that these two guys provided their own personal warmth to you?
No.
The sexy music.
No.
Let me tell the story real quick before we. So I packed. I think the second.
Sure did.
The second year we tried Hall H, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna fucking be out there butt naked on the concrete overnight. So like I had my con bag, I had a big ass blanket in there too because I knew it was gonna be cold, and I'm getting all snuggled up, and I look over at this man over here on his bare patch of concrete, shivering, looking like a jackhammer.
Jermaine
Motherfucker,
hates the cold.
He hates the cold.
I hate
Hates it. So I fuck here, and I gave him this mother. I took a picture of him too. He's so fucking like just snuggled up under that shit. I was
Tenderonies.
like, I fucking hate you. And I fucking pulled my bag of trash that I used as a pillow, and it's fucking.
This episode brought to you by that bromance.
Shut up. But I remember that. I remember that vividly. My wife was looking at me like, did you just get my fucking blanket? Yeah. He's stupid. He was cold, and I wasn't. I'm fat, so, I have layers. But we do need to preface Hall H was back in the day, you could walk almost after the first panel of the day, you could pretty much walk in,
Yeah.
People were leaving, coming and going. And then as Hollywood took over and the the spectacle became more and more and more, you would have to wait longer and longer until it evolved into the point where you would have to literally wait a good 24 to 28 hours in line.
A day.
Christ.
You
That
would
was
have to
one day gone.
You have to sacrifice a whole day in line.
And what you're... Oh, sorry. Were you done?
Yeah. Might as well.
Oh, now I feel like an asshole.
No, it's fine.
What an ass!
I know.
Are you done?
Fuck right off.
Hold on.
I know, seriously, yeah.
No, you had to wait a whole day in line, 24 to 28 hours, just to get a wristband, and then you had to wait in another line for the rest of the night, just so that you would have good seats as opposed to being shoved in the back.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot there's like the two-part system now. But what you're getting out of it is, I don't know, the chance to see a celebrity as a little speck in the far distance.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're up front. And you're getting like, that's Hall H. So Hall H is where the big studios, your Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers, are going to be
Mega
showing
studios.
like,
or
like HBO and stuff. They're going to show like
sneak
the
peek
trailers. And it used to be very exclusive. It used to just be like, you will see this trailer and no one else will see this. Obviously with like cell phones and stuff, people, and they tell you not to record it. But ultimately, like, people would record it to get leaked online. And so now, I want to say the last couple Comic-Cons, like, they're pretty much releasing it at the same time. Except, like, sometimes they'll do like exclusive stuff, but
They can. I mean, we would imagine they could do like that Dave Chappelle thing of like putting your cell phones in the bag.
That'd be a fucking nightmare there. Yeah.
Yeah, especially
They
for that
could.
place.
Yeah.
But it would be a nightmare. They're pretty good. Like,
do you
the
think
shit that leaks out is always fucking like guerrilla style from like the palm of someone's
It's so
hand.
terrible. Yeah.
Like it looks like hell.
Dick Tracy
Yeah.
camera watch. So you guys went 3 times. Who did you guys see? That's the question that's lingering there.
Well, one of my favorite years was when we were waiting in line to see like the DC stuff, like all the DC announcements, like especially the Batman v Superman stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was probably one of my favorite years because we were out there waiting forever, and you just hear people talking about it in line, discussing certain things, and then and one of the coolest experience was like damn near midnight. Zack Snyder came out driving the back lot of the con in the Batmobile. In the BVS, movie, that version of the Batmobile. So that was like
guns.
heck yeah, that killed people.
Wait, but Batman doesn't use guns. What?
Don't you remember seeing that thing just like tearing ass around, the back lot, and then they parked it, and he fucked off on them or whatever.
What a sight.
But we walked over and took pictures with that shit. Like,
Everybody
I have one of Rachel. She's
scrambled.
like this, like right next to it. It's fucking cool.
I lucked out one year just walking around downtown, and I came across where they were unloading 2 or 3 of the old like even the Tumbler, and then the Michael Keaton Batmobile, and I
That's
think
cool.
and the old Adam West. They were like unloading them all, like driving them into like some parking lot, and there was like me and 5 other people like just watching them. And
With the video I'm going to post of the 2016, was that the 2016 Comic Con? Because I remember I thought it was lost forever, but I happened to find the video that I made of the 2016 Comic Con, and it was the BVS Tumblr, or not Tumblr, but BVS Batmobile.
Yeah.
that BVS
might have been.
announced.
Sure.
But the main thing about the Hall H line is if you're a fan that's excited to see, the new trailer for a movie that you're hyped for, or to listen to the actors and actresses, talk about like the movie experience, and then you could even, certain people can ask questions like you wait in line, but that's legit what Hall H is. The hype of nerd. Like if you guys ever went to midnight showings back in the day, or the late showings for certain movies, whether it be a Marvel movie, whether it be The Matrix,
Harry Potter, Order of the Phoenix.
but it's just that energy, because when the trailer like just pops up on the screen, like that's when you hear the screams and the the woos and the hollers and the whistle. Like it's just that energy. That's really what you're waiting for in life for 24 hours. It's like you guys get to experience this thing before anybody else does, and you're just in there with a group of people that have the same energy that you have, and it's just ridiculous. Like there's no way to describe, like
it's really
honestly,
hard to
like
describe
what that is, but you just have to be there. And if you ever get a chance to do it, but it's just that energy, that seeing the, stars of your favorite movies, like I said, talk about it, discuss in all these panels, but it's just that nerd energy, man. It's just like nothing like it.
I would imagine it would just makes you feel like more of that fandom. That integral fandom, like it just doesn't it feel just tangible? You feel that electricity. It isn't just something like, oh, I watched a movie on a screen, I paid my $10 or whatever. But you're like, I'm here. This movie's gonna be good because I was here cheering.
And all these panels, including Hall H, have usually a Q&A section.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've never done it. I've come close, I think, in like some of the smaller comic book panels to get up there and be like, oh, how come Green Lantern didn't do this? That's also when you learn, like, no matter how much you think you're a fan of something, like there are people that are like on page 5 of
You have the
issue,
ultra fans.
Yeah. So yeah, to your point, like just being there, and especially if you get to ask a question and like to these directors and writers, and plus it also, it's fun being on some of the panels because you get to see, these celebrities and creators be themselves a bit, and sometimes it's shocking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nowadays with social media, we
tougher.
have an idea of how these people, but I'll always remember Kate Beckinsale. She was there to promote not Underworld. She was doing she did some like horror movie or some sort of comic book based movie like in Antarctica or something, White Out or Snow White,
I remember that
something
movie.
like that.
Yeah,
so she was there to promote that, but she was really funny. She was making all sorts of jokes, and
I love watching.
one of her jokes was, I think someone asked her, like, oh, was it different filming this than filming Underworld? And she said, well, for whatever reason, on this set, whenever I bent over to pick something up, I didn't hear, oh. Wow. That was her joke. That she said on stage, it was like, I like Kate Beckinsale. If you follow her on Instagram, she's lovely. She's fun.
She is in Fool's. She's a love.
Oh, she's in Fool's Paradise?
Yeah, Fool's Paradise.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
I love going down the rabbit hole of like celebrity interviews. Not necessarily like the short form ones. If I could find some long form, whether it be podcast or like Sean Evans' hot ones, I love those moments where they get to show themselves as being like a person, and I go, oh, yeah, actually, that guy's not so bad.
Yeah.
We're peoples too.
So, should we? I don't mean to like hijack. Should we talk about any new announcements?
Before we get into that, and I know this will probably set up on a tangent, but I want to ask because I do want to get into the announcements. I'm good.
Okay.
Is when walking the floors, who did you guys bump into?
Oh. Well, like I said, back in the day, you would generally see Mark Hamill because he was signing somewhere.
And he is. I'm kidding.
The voice of the Joker. And,
Yes.
Lou Ferrigno is like a Comic-Con staple. I said his name right? The Hulk?
Yeah.
He's always around. I bumped into Hulk Hogan once. Well, and it was fun because I had just gone to a panel with him, which that panel was awesome because Sting came out also. But yeah, like immediately after I was walking and I like ran into Hulk Hogan, who's like, I think a little shorter than me, and that kind of threw me off. Like that really, I mean, I'm 6'4", so people are shorter than me.
Never meet your heroes.
But I mean, Hogan's like a monster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, oddly enough, another wrestler, I think I almost punched Becky Lynch in the face. I was like putting on a jacket, and like she was like walking by to go to a WWE panel, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, is that Becky Lynch? Like, but anyway.
I never bumped into anybody like that, but just walking the floor, sometimes they would have like a certain, like a show panel, out there, remember when they used to have like the
Oh,
little
yeah.
high tower one? Sometimes, you have people walking out and you'll hear people start screaming and scurrying, but it was
Yeah, I got a story for that too.
in my CW days when I used to watch like Smallville and type of stuff, just walking the floor and just seeing like the Smallville cast out there. I was like, they're really here.
They're people's.
Right.
I sometimes see those, like Power Rangers, right? They're usually there. There's a couple Power Rangers to sign it.
Yeah,
And I'm always
Power
like, that'd be,
Rangers ones
like
are
even though I
pretty
don't
cool.
really watch the show, I keep up with it a little bit on Instagram. And,
Yeah.
the same thing. They're selling tickets, or you have to get there early to get tickets so then you can go get something signed.
Yeah.
And I was like, I should do that. Like, it'd be fun to meet the Power Rangers. But then I like look around at all the little kids like waiting there. And it's like, you know what? Like, they're only going to do like 50 of these. Like, I'm not a huge fan. I'll leave it for the kids. And then the kids still get kicked out and it's all the sweaty, like,
Should I drop
people
kick
my
a
age
kid in
anyway.
his face? This is my generation of Power Rangers. Get the fuck out my
Oh,
line.
if it's like the older Power Rangers, sure.
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Well, usually they're just sitting there lonely waiting for someone to come up and talk to them anyway. George Takei. He was
Damn it.
Gotcha, bitch. He wrote a comic book about his life, like in the internment camps and everything.
Time travel.
This is serious. he
Are you making fucking jokes while he's talking about the internment camps?
yeah,
How
Jesus.
dare you?
Yeah. Anyway, George Takei wrote a comic book, so I waited in line. I bought the comic. I got a signature and everything. What was we were specifically told, do not ask about Star Trek. So I didn't get to ask him about Star Trek, but it was still fun to meet
You
him.
rule follower.
It's George
shame-
Takei. I
shame
respect him.
Watch him stand up and just slap the shit out of you.
Wow. Jesus.
I've never bumped into anyone on the floor. The one year where we waited for Hall H, they had the IMDb boat docked in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Where they would, people would come in. And that year was The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. People were being bussed in. And like, I remember walking by and just running into like a small wall of people. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then all of a sudden, Steven Yeun walks by, and then the guy who played the guy who plays Daryl, and then the guy who plays the title character, Rick Grimes.
Rick Grimes.
Like
Andrew Lincoln.
Yeah. They're like, if I leaned over, I could slap the shit out of him. I was like, this is fucking cool. Like taking pictures, and then later, the fat guy from Game of Thrones. What's his name? The
Mordor?
guy. No, the
guy that saved
chubby guy.
everybody.
The bald guy?
Samwise character.
Yeah, the Samwise character. Not Samwise, but Samwise.
Isn't his name Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had that hot wildling
okay,
wife.
him.
He
Oh, yeah, I
he
got
walked by too, and I'm like, oh, this is
That is one of the perks of waiting in the Hall H line.
I'm starstruck.
You do get to see some of that stuff sometimes.
Fat people can be.
Were you
famous
guys
too.
ever walking around downtown and saw like a group of people like waiting outside a hotel and you kind of just walk over like, who are we waiting on? And
Yes.
and like half of them were like, I don't know. I'm
Speaking
just
of Game of
waiting.
Thrones, everyone's crowding around, and I look at my wife and I go, "Well, let's go join the crowd and bother that poor person." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Who's that old guy?" And it was the Onion King, Game of Thrones.
Dungeon Night?
Yeah,
Danny Knight.
yeah. But
Sir
at that
Davos.
time I wasn't
that.
watching Game of Thrones. I hadn't started watching it. I finally binged it after that. And I was like, "Oh, it's all the guy."
I think I waited till like season 3.
I do like after the fact when Comic-Con is all said and done, you see like the videos of celebrities walking around in like cosplay.
Yeah.
That they were out there, I'm like, I would have never known that was you.
I saw. I was walking behind Phil Lamar, and speaking of Futurama, he's the voice of Hermes, and he's the voice of Green Lantern. He's the voice. He does so many voices. He's Marvin in Pulp Fiction. He gets shot in the face. He's in everything, Matt TV, and like I love voiceover stuff. And I was walking behind him. My wife goes, "Go say hi to him." I was like, "No, he's a person. He's walking around. He's having a conversation with I forget who. It might have been Greg Nicotero." Speaking of The Walking Dead, he did like the makeup work and stuff. And I was like, no. He's just peopling right now. He's being a person. I'm not going to bother him. I'm registering it in my head. I saw him. So that was like my little bump in, other than the Onion King. Oh, I saw the back of Stan Lee's head.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic name drop, by the way.
What?
Greg Nicotero.
Being sarcastic?
No.
That's impressive.
I was like, you reach right into his ass and pull that one out.
Well, because I love like special effects stuff and prosthetic stuff. Like I followed Stan Winston Studio on Instagram, and they're the ones that did. Speaking of like RoboCop, Aliens, they did all of that practical effects stuff. Stan Winston, check them out.
It's always fun when you're like at some random booth and they have like some stuff set up and you start talking to them and it's like, oh yeah, I did the work on Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and you're like, well, hey, can I suck your?
Well, yes, you can. Here you go.
Can I suck your balloon?
Well, let's shoot some cotton candy on each other.
And right before we go into announcements, the little story that I had, it was speaking of like that center area where like all the celebrities come out. Mm-hmm. There were the whole entire cast walked out of the Suicide Squad, and everyone's fucking screaming. I'm like, what's going on over there? As I'm talking to Rob Paulsen, who is the voice of Pinky and the voice of, I think, Donatello in the Ninja Turtles, and the voice of so many other characters.
He's done a lot of stuff.
Everything
that you know.
Holy shit. And I was talking with him about the documentary that, Joe DiMaggio, the voice of Bender from Futurama, I think John DiMaggio. It's a documentary called I Know That Voice, and like I think Rob Paulsen was also in it. I'm just talking about voiceover stuff, and he's such a nice dude, and I'm like, oh my god, you're part of my childhood and stuff, and everyone's in the background screaming. They're like Margot Robbie, Will Smith, and when people still liked him, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. My wife's like, I'm gonna go see Jason Momoa. I was like, I don't care. I'm talking with my fucking childhood hero, like the one of the reasons why I love like farting around and doing stupid voices and stuff like that. What a nice guy. Rob Paulsen, if you're listening to this, shout out to you, brother.
I went to the Freakazoid panel at WonderCon, and just hearing their stories about like that age of animation, where like they had so much more freedom and were just kind of
especially like WB.
Yeah, WB for sure.
Animaniacs,
and like Spielberg was involved in a lot of them, and yeah.
All right. We're cutting it down to the wire. Let's talk about the announcements. That's why we're recording today.
So this year was a weird one because the writer's strike and the actor's strike is going on. So no one was really allowed to promote things. So a lot of studios backed out. So the Hall H experience was certainly not what it has been in the past. So we, I guess I'll ask the question, if all the things that Jermaine, you actually saw or witnessed yourself or guys online, was there anything that stood out that's like worth mentioning?
Well, for me, there wasn't like a lot of things that I was really hyped for. Like I know the Boys VOT spinoff series, but
Gen V.
Yeah, the Gen V series. Like I'm excited for the new.
Oh God, that's hot.
Invincible animated series. But for me, my thing that I'm excited for is hyped for is anything DC animated.
Yeah, which they made two big announcements.
Which was there's going to be an animated Watchmen movie coming out. And then there's a Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Infinite Earths.
Yeah. Infinite Earths. Yes, that's what it is. But yes, those are my two things that I'm definitely hyped for.
Dude, yes.
Do you think that an animated Watchmen is going to do anything better than what Zack Snyder's live action movie has done?
Just because Zack Snyder did it so well in live action, I don't think. I mean, you can do so much more with animation than you can do in live action, just because you're not constrained by any physical limitations. But I think because he did the live action so well that it's kind of like I don't need an animated one.
But wasn't his ending different? So therefore, we might get the actual
proper squid octopus thing. Yeah.
So
possibly.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah, but those are my announcements that I was hyped for.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for those as well. I am curious about Crisis on Infinite Earths. Prior to you guys getting here, Rudy and I were talking about how I feel like those kind of big events, like they work so well in comic books because it's like the new thing that things are leading up to. And like at that time when that series dropped, it was like the first time seeing these alternate Earths coming together and everything like that. To now kind of drop it as an animated movie out of nowhere, like we'll see. I mean, it's like that story's been done so much, but if they stick to it, well, I think it could work.
But I will say that.
I'm coming.
Oh, that's the. Yeah, I will say that DC does their animated movies so well. If ever you guys get the chance, a lot of them are, or most of them are on Max, and like I've gone down the rabbit hole and binged most of them. There is like a chronological order to them, but they're fantastic.
Yeah, I sometimes wish they would get a little more creative with the art style. And especially, I mean,
Same.
after something like Spider-Verse
Yeah.
or the new Ninja Turtle movie that's coming out, where again, like they played with, hey, we don't have to do like this exact like clean, pristine style.
Yeah.
I would like to see DC venture out a little bit.
I feel that.
But there's cost, and my answer to everything in this thing is right. Like
Money.
budgets probably.
What do we think of the Marvels?
I'm excited for it.
I mean, the first trailer, it wasn't feeding off of everyone's trollingness of like what a shitty trailer, but I wasn't like super excited about it.
I was whelmed.
That's what it was. Yeah. I actually got excited with this new trailer.
I saw the trailer. I was like, this shit looks fun. It looks like it's kind of back to the original formula of the Marvel superhero movies, as opposed to the heavy, super heavy, and then super bantery, super jokey.
I think it might subvert
Like
some expectations. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first trailer certainly leaned way too heavily on Kamala Khan, like just screaming a lot,
Which
which makes sense. I mean,
Even-
she's a young character, but
even so, when the cat ate those
Yeah.
people, that scream tickled me.
It's a
I
good
don't know
one.
why.
They kept it in this trailer too.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like how many takes did that take?
How many ducks do you think that took?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, so yeah, we'll get into that. Sorry, Rudy's scrolling through some of the announcements. Isaac, did you have any things that you saw?
For sure, Invincible. More images of.
Have you guys checked out the? They released a movie about. I should have looked it up. The girl character.
Is it Adam Eve?
Yeah.
Adam Eve. Yeah, sorry. Have you guys watched it yet?
No.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, yeah, I meant to watch it before this episode, but
Yeah, you brought it up earlier before
Yeah.
we started recording. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I saw it pop up later in one of these
Yeah.
websites that we were looking at. The Rick and Morty, the anime. I
Oh, yeah, I
I
saw
didn't even
that.
know that was a thing. Like, it's actually like a whole separate show.
You know what I want? I want fucking when they had that little thing of the live action where, Rick and Morty where he had Doc Brown. Fuck me. Edit this out. What the fuck is his name?
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
The Rick and Morty, that little. Have you seen that live action
yeah,
with
yeah.
Christopher Lloyd and then the kid from It?
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did a little.
don't
I was
know.
like, I want that so much.
I remember seeing
even if it's
those.
just like a short.
For whatever reason, Michael Cera popped in my
Holy
head
shit!
when you said
Holy
that.
shit! Michael Cera would be a good cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god! Oh my god! Sorry, Michael Cera is. I forgot what the Barbie character's name is, but Michael Cera in Barbie was perfect. It was hilarious. He was,
awesome.
he was perfectly used in that.
So speaking of cartoon to live action stuff, I guess it was. I mean, it wasn't really announced at Comic-Con, but they surprised the Star Trek panel. I'm getting it in there. The Star Trek panel surprise dropped the crossover episode of Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks. So Lower Decks is the animated like comedy cartoon from I think one of the Rick and Morty guys or the people that are behind Rick and Morty do Lower
I thought
Decks.
a trailer already came out.
The trailer had already like teased it. So like I said, it wasn't a surprise. The surprise was they dropped it early.
Okay,
So I watched that, and that is probably one of the better.
that is mind blowing though. For like an animation and live action crossover.
Yeah, and they use the voice actors as the live, and it's such a fun episode.
Yeah. Speaking of the boys, like one of the leads is one of the voices in that, right? I forget his name. Something Quaid.
Oh yeah. Isn't
he
So he's the
actually
one that was
Jack
on that.
Quaid?
yeah.
Is that Randy Quaid?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or Dennis Quaid's.
Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, we don't talk about
Randy,
Randy
sorry.
Quaid.
We don't talk about Randy. No.
Speaking of ID4.
Star Trek also announced that
yeah,
Strange New
sorry.
Worlds is going to do a musical episode in a couple weeks, and I'm very. Star Trek has never done one. They've had music like numbers, but I don't think they've ever done like a full musical episode. Which I mean, in the past, those have worked
'Cause I was gonna
well.
say-
Like Drew Carey did one way back in the day.
That-
Buffy,
I
Buffy
remember that
did one.
I was about to bring that one up. Like I still go and
Supernatural
watch
did
some of those
one.
clips from
Yeah.
that Once More with Feeling because
Flash.
And I want to say they're doing it.
Scrubs did a
In,
musical. Didn't they do a musical episode?
I want to say I watched the trailer on my phone a
the
little
poop.
bit at work, so I need to sit and watch it on the big screen here. But I want to say they're doing the musical like in fluff, like in story. Like there's a reason why everyone's singing or something like that.
Musicals and multiverses. Everyone's doing them nowadays.
Sure.
Is anyone else fucking pissed that the Continental is only a 3-part miniseries? I had no idea.
Yeah, I really thought it was gonna be a full series.
It better be good then.
I thought it was going to be like at
Still on
least
Peacock.
at
That's-
least a season,
And it's
you
like
know,
set in the 70s.
Yeah, it's a prequel
somewhere around.
Yeah,
there.
this is supposed to be how
past.
Winston gets the Continental.
Oh yeah. Okay.
At least it being a 3-part, I mean, hopefully that means it's a really solid.
But I really didn't
story.
expect too much, like for it to be like a full fledged, like legit show. Because once I found out that it was on Peacock, I was like,
Yeah,
this
hey,
is
but
not
Peacock's
gonna-
got Twisted Metal also, guys.
for you. Good luck to you.
I saw the newer trailer, Twisted Metal. I was like, okay, that looks more fun.
I'm the newest trailer did get me a little more excited for it. I thought it's not like the Twisted Metal like tournament premise, but I thought it was a decent
I
premise.
might give it a trial run.
Yeah.
Peacock.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 1 having Homelander, Peacemaker,
And Omni-Man.
and oh yeah, and Omni-Man. Jesus, what an addition!
Just to be able to watch Omni-Man and Homelander fight it out.
Aren't
with J.K.
the-
Simmons coming to
Holy
do
shit,
his
that's
voice.
right.
J.K.
Yeah.
Simmons
Oh,
doing the
yeah,
voice.
Fucking love J.K. Simmons. You guys need to like Google him and look into like all the voiceover stuff he does. I didn't know he was a fucking peanut, the yellow peanut. Mm-hmm. What the hell?
What the fuck?
Yeah, I thought that was the voice of Patrick from
Yeah.
SpongeBob. My mind was thoroughly blown when I learned that.
No.
So
fucking way.
make me go like, oh, I really do get excited about these things.
Isn't Homelander also
Goddamn,
one
I
of the
wish
Call
I
of
had set up
Duty?
the video for this one because the look on Doug's face. It's fucking priceless. It's like, he's
cannot.
really like replaying all the ads.
Yeah. Wait, isn't he like someone? Why is the
That's him.
timer still?
Yeah.
No, he's the one with the kind of deeper voice, like.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
is that Santa?
Yeah, he's the yellow fucking M&M, peanut M&M.
We need.
Sorry, Jermaine, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was gonna. No, isn't Homelander in one of the Call of Duties or something like
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah,
The
they did.
Oh, I
boys.
saw
They did-
that. That's so
They
excessive.
didn't really say it.
Yeah.
You just hold them and blow their face.
I mean, it is. So one of the things about this year's Comic Con that a lot of people were actually excited about was with Hollywood gone, it kind of went back to comic books. And so one of the big comic books that they DC announced was Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong.
whoa.
Which,
Whoa.
I mean, part of me is like Superman just takes him out, right? But I'm sure they're going to do something about like don't kill him or whatever. But oh yeah, and then The Last Ronin is getting a follow up. Which The Last Ronin, for those that don't know, is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle story. The first series was about the one remaining turtle from the 4, and it was set like in the future, and all the 3 of the turtles had died. And then now with this follow up series, as I think they've introduced new turtles, so it's kind of the second generation, but it's certainly a darker, more adult themed Ninja Turtle series. The other big announcement that I'm really interested in, I need to look more into it because I hope it's not AI bullshit, but there's a company called Genvid Entertainment, I think is the name, and they're producing interactive streaming series. They announced Silent Hill a while back, and then at Comic-Con this year, they announced a Borderlands one and a DC Justice League series where the audience, I think, will vote together. So it's not an individual choose your adventure. It's like a worldwide, is my understanding. So like after each episode, everyone will vote, and what we vote on will go into the next. So either they're really quick at animation, or they have some stuff pre-recorded or whatever, or it's AI bullshit.
Throwing it back to that and throwing it back to comics, didn't they do that with the death of Robin?
Yes. So they actually referenced that when they were discussing it. Like, this is going to be death of the family on a global scale.
That's cool.
And it's going to be set on like Earth 215, so it's a whole new Justice League. And I think on that Earth, they said that like everyone's still kind of in shadows. So as a global nerd community, we'll be able to vote and control the fate of these characters. I think it's really fun. And Borderlands also announced like a date for their actual movie too.
But like you're always saying, it's like continuing the conversation, and that's like one way to like pull that community together even more.
I hope like there's like fans are really into it. And I can't wait to like read some of the arguments or the people posting. I mean, I think honestly, even us, like if there's a way we want it to go, we should be putting out videos like telling people.
That's fun. I'm down.
Like Batman should punch this guy. That's the voice I'll use for it too. Listen up, nerd community.
I'm down for the time podcast. I can't talk because I have too many muscles. I talk.
Oh no, that's when we use our alternate Earth voices.
Oh yeah, I got a pink wig. I was like this close to bringing here today.
I'll grow a goatee and I could be Mirror Universe Doug.
Wait, why?
But you talk like that.
Come in looking all super sinister, and then just be like,
Hey, I'm the Hive Attack podcast. Please vote this way, motherfuckers.
Oh shit. Anything else, guys?
yeah. What other announcements, guys? Anything?
So the new images of like the Spider-Man 2 game, it looked like it hinted that Harry might be Venom.
Yeah, that was the audible like clue, right? We'll heal the world, and then we'll heal the world.
Yeah, I saw that. And people are like, "Who is Venom going to be?" Because it's confirmed it's not Eddie Brock. I'm like, he said it in the trailer. Hey, we're going to heal the world together, and then Venom says, "We will heal the world."
Yeah,
like that's my best Venom. Sorry, we are Venom. Hold on, maybe we can cut there. We are Venom.
Oh,
we will heal the world.
Let's me and you try it together. Ready?
We are Venom. Ooh, chills.
Anybody else chubbing?
Nerds.
yeah. Oh man,
I'm halfway there. To the combines.
And anybody that hasn't got a PS5 yet, they announced a Spider-Man version of it.
Jesus
Christ,
Christ,
is sexy. It is. If my PS5 was in a place that was more on display, I would like look into selling my current one to go get that.
I'm about to see if I hope they sell that controller separate.
Oh, the controller for sure. I definitely want to get that controller.
But there's somebody already making that skin that you could probably take it off and just put it on.
Yeah, the PS5, they did make it pretty easy to change out those panels.
That was it though. It was kind of a light Comic-Con for
I would
announcements.
say The Walking Dead, which I haven't watched that in forever, and I only
they
got
announced.
They showed trailers for those who
Andrew
survive, and
Andrew Lincoln and Michonne spinoff. Like he's coming back.
It's the ones who live.
The ones who live. Yeah,
I don't know if that's gonna bring me back though, man.
That was whatever. But
I had no connection to the characters. But the other one, Daryl Dixon one, that actually looks interesting enough for me to be like, I'll watch it. And I feel like I won't need to have watched all 26 years.
I will still say this: if Daryl dies, we riot.
Well, he was supposed to die in the first fucking season, and maybe first couple of episodes.
And apparently, he floated across the Atlantic because it's set in Paris. And the trailer showed him like on something, like floating or something. I have no idea how he got there. Whatever zombies yeeted him. Who knows? That cross what's happening.
Really
that is some fucking plot armor drifted across the Atlantic Ocean doesn't fucking kill you.
Yeah.
I used to love that show, and now I'm like, Jesus, there's more? Still? Fuck. Ugh.
Well, I appreciate that they're like expanding now, like to like Paris or something like that. Because and we have it on our list of ideas for shows is the post-apocalypse stuff, and there's so much story that can be told, especially once you start expanding into how other parts of the world are handling it in different groups. Like this looks like some sort of religious group.
I have to look into it and research it because I never, again, being a completionist and stuff like that, like I know eventually I'm gonna try to finish it, and now that there's spin-offs, I'm like, God damn it, now you're giving me more shit to watch. But like I want to know, like, have you guys been keeping up with any of it? Is it any good at all? I'm also talking to the listeners too.
I got to the point where Carl finally got in the house, and I just kind of stopped watching. Like I kind of lost interest. But I mean, like I've seen previews clips on YouTube of further seasons. And I'm like, I have to get back into it just so I can finish it. Like, I'm not that far behind. I think I got to like season 6 or 5 or 6.
Once Andrew Lincoln left, and then I watched like an episode or two after that, and it was like fast forwarded like 5 years. I was done. It was like a palpable change in like the environment of the show, and I don't know.
Has any show like really survived a time jump? I mean, I guess the newest Game of Thrones kind of did it, but
Well, that was a really weird time jump. Like,
Yeah, but it worked for me.
device.
I think it worked really well. Well, because I think they just used the first couple episodes to like kind of give us like a quick like backstory, and we're gonna jump to the time.
But I
that's
was
needed.
like, I'm so used to this actor. Oh, God, okay, get used to the next one.
No, I'm not gonna talk shit on it.
Jermaine, anything else?
No, that's pretty much it for me. Because it wasn't really,
Yeah, it wasn't a heavy
it
announcement.
wasn't the
type.
same oomph, that Comic Con normally usually has. But it's just
Do you think that D3 kind of takes a lot of that from, because a lot of stuff was announced, would usually be announced at Comic Con, but like D3 usually the Disney thing, right?
D23.
D23. I'm sorry.
D23.
Here's my nerd card.
Well, I mean, a lot of the companies now, especially like even in the video game world, they're all kind of just doing their own thing now. So I mean, like E3, I don't even think is happening. I don't know if E3 will be happening anytime soon, at least in the way that it has, because Sony does their thing, Nintendo, like everyone just started doing their own thing. So I feel like,
because especially with the DC, what was it, the Fandom or whatever it
Yeah.
was called? Like they
Oh, yeah.
they started just doing like their own announcements. But it's just one of those things. I don't know if they feel like they need to go to Comic Cons or need to go to these conventions anymore.
yeah, that'll be the big test, is if next year, like, when the strike's hopefully over, I'm sure these studios will be back, but you never know. I mean, like with this break, maybe their numbers aren't going to show a change in excitement or hype or talk or anything like that, and they might question it, but who knows? Done.
Only time.
Join us next week. But we're going to wrap it up. We're going to continue the conversation elsewhere on the internet. Anybody else have anything else?
No, I think we can always come back to this conversation and talk about some of the lesser cons and the pros and cons of those.
Yeah, an
And
actual
how I
con
snuck into
convention.
Comic Con
or
because I
conversation.
didn't get into my story of how I snuck into Comic Con.
Oh yeah, we still have to,
that's
we still have to tell that very hypothetical story.
No, we're still within the,
yeah,
you're still
I
within the
have
statute
I
of
was
limitations.
there going,
Because
Yeah,
this
no
real
way.
life.
You can still get
This
arrested.
is real life.
podcast has our full
So
names
bef-
attached to it, and I don't want a lifetime
Yeah.
ban.
So before we get Jermaine in trouble and arrested yet again,
Allegedly.
let's put a bow on this episode.
Hold on. I bought a sex toy once at Comic-Con. Let's put a bow on this.
You guys, if you want to continue the conversation, hit us up on TikTok or Instagram at The Hype Attack. If there's anything that we missed, anything that you want to comment on, hit us up in the comments or in the DMs. Like, rate, review, share. We're everywhere. Check us out.
Yeah, and with this specifically, I mean, if you went to Comic-Con, leave us comments about some of the cool stuff you saw, like toys and
Past
cosplays
stories.
and stuff, past stories. Yeah, it's really easy to talk to us. I mean, you just like type some things and you press things, and we won't judge you.
I'm at Forehead FPV.
Dougie Donuts.
J Lightburn 5555.
And Rogue.1.
Though I have learned, me saying Dougie Donuts, like people were like, there's like 6 different ways to spell that. So good luck.
Just go.
Throw me a
Listen,
picture of a donut.
just
It's
go
on our profile though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's
on
on
the Hype
our
Attack.
IG.
We're
It's on
tagging
our
everything.
IG.
Any last words, guys?
I think we should seriously consider doing a live stream podcast the next time the tickets drop.
Oh, that'd be
This would be a very good
absolutely.
like battle station command center for that, and just us screaming at the screens. Like,
Yeah, if you guys want to watch grown men cry,
Well, until then,
trying to not get too drunk because we still need to like enter information.
yeah,
no such thing.
we need sober. We need designated.
Well, that's what we have the web
data.
for.
Designated data entry. Oh yeah.
Until that drunk and nerdy time. You guys, check us out next week. Same hype time. Same hype
Same
channel.
hype channel.
Hype attack.